How's everyone doing? Good. Awesome. I'm American, so you can listen to me, right? You can trust me. So you can trust what I have to say. But honestly, hasn't it been like just such an amazing week? Yeah. Like, I'm blown away by what God is doing. He's doing amazing things. And honestly, I'm grateful to be standing in front of you, to be talking in front of you, to be being with you. I'm grateful you guys are here. I hope you're grateful I'm here. And I'm mostly grateful that God has partnered with us, right? That he loves us enough to use us for what he's done for me. So, recently I was in a foreign country called South Africa. Anyone heard of it? Yeah. South Africa. And I was there for 2 months, right? I mean, you have to know, I was there for 2 months. I was spending 2 months with South Africans. Like, I was corrupted. When I got back, I had to be cleansed. I spent a week away with this guy in Tanzania. When I got back, I had to get saved again. You don't even know. But no, it was an amazing time. I'm only kidding. It was such a good time. But one thing that was really funny, actually, that happened there is every single time someone would ask me about America, and every single time I would refer to America, I would refer to it as the promised land. And so it started out as a joke, but actually the more I thought about it and the more I said it, and by every time, I mean every single time. Like, you brought up my nation, America, it was called the promised land, straight away. But the more I actually thought about it, the more I've actually believed, actually that is true. And I believe in this room, all of us in this room, and the ones that are privileged to live here and the ones who are privileged to be able to just visit, there is an inheritance in this nation for us. In the nation of America, this is our promised land, guys. And do you believe that? Yeah. I believe that. So honestly, today I just want to talk, I've got a few minutes left, and with the few minutes I've got, I just want to talk about how we can press more into our glorious inheritance, how we can step deeper into this promised land, this nation that God's given us, how we can use what God has given us and be who God has called us to be to reach this nation for Jesus and to reach the world for Jesus as well. So we're going to just quickly read out of Hebrews 12. I've got 4 things that I'd like to say. Hebrews 12, I'm just going to start reading. It says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles." And so, my first point, if we want to press into our glorious inheritance, because our inheritance is glorious, right, guys? Our inheritance, first of all, in heaven is greater than anything we can come up with, but also here on earth, our inheritance is greater than anything we can come up with by ourselves. But if we want to press more into our glorious inheritance, I believe there are 4 things, and there's a lot more than 4, but here are 4 things that I believe that we need to be doing that we see from this text. So number 1 is realign ourselves. And with this word of therefore, since we're surrounded, let us throw off everything that hinders, everything that entangles, all the sin. And God has done such amazing things this week, right? Every single word that's been preached and every single night of ministry and worship and in everything, God has dealt with some stuff. Do you guys believe that? Yeah. And God has thrown off some stuff. And it's amazing. But honestly, if there's anyone in here that is not free, we want you to be free. I want you to be free. I don't want you to leave today. I don't want you to leave this week not free. I want everyone to be walking free in who God's called them to be. So we need to throw off anything that's left. And when I say throw off, that doesn't mean grab it gently and put it down right next to you so you don't hurt it and lay it down softly and just keep looking at it. No, that means grab that sucker and chuck it at the wall, right? Come on, guys. We're throwing it off. We're destroying it. We're killing it. Everything. And this is a daily thing, right? We're throwing off everything that hinders us daily. Maybe last night God did some amazing things in you and you walked away last night free. I can tell you today, maybe something's been put back on you again. Maybe that pressure's been back on you again. We need to throw it off. You don't have to be a genius to know that you can run easier and more efficiently when you're carrying less weight. So why are we carrying all this extra weight that we don't need to be carrying. And it doesn't even have to be sin. Sometimes it's not even sin. It's just little distractions, but it's hindrances. That's what it says. It's holding us back. And following Jesus, it's the most freeing thing we can ever do, right? And we can't hold on to what was. Can't hold on to the past. We got to embrace what's to come, especially if we're looking forward. It goes on to say, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. I could spend an hour right there. But there's so many different things. This race marked out for us. What is our race? It's our relationship with Jesus, right? It's being a follower of Jesus. This life is our race. And it's amazing that there is actually don't you love that there, before the beginning of time, you had a predestined race. It was marked out for you before the beginning of time by the Creator. Isn't that amazing? That should give us confidence that surely we should know that Jesus is with us because there was a race marked out before our lives began. It says to run our race. Running, that's a big thing right there. I mean, how many people at times have done some walking? We feel like we're walking our race. How many people have even done some crawling? I know I've crawled a few times, been just crawling in life, just going through the motions, just going to church on a Sunday and being at a quip and just kind of not really soaking anything in, But guys, we've been called to run this race. We're running. We're running with intention and purpose. There's got to be intent to what we do. And I know it can be so easy to just crawl through life and just go through the motions, but we have been called to run. So I want to ask you guys, are you running your race? Are you running? And we should be more passionate about Jesus as the days go on. Each day that we walk with Jesus, we should be more passionate and more in love with him. So to you older folks, and I'm old, all right, but to the few of you that are a little bit older than me in this room, you guys should be more passionate than anyone else. Because you've walked with Jesus, and actually when you're running a race, the closer you get to the finish line, the faster you should be running. Come on, guys. I'm challenged by, I'm running low on time, but I'm challenged by this. Paul says in Philippians 3, says, I do not consider myself to have taken hold of it yet, but one thing I do, forgetting what is behind, exactly what we've been saying, and straining towards what is ahead. I press on towards the goal to win the prize for which Jesus has called me. And I want to ask you guys today, are you running to win? Are you running to win? We're not competing with each other, but there is this sense of spurring one another on. Are you running to win? And you may be saying, yeah, Joel, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And yes, you're right. But every marathon does have a winner. Every marathon you run, there's a winner. And so are we running to win? I know I'm running to win. I'm running to catch you guys. Goes on to say, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. Fixing our eyes on Jesus. I love that. It's actually letting go of everything else and taking up Jesus. Letting go of everything else. Nothing else matters because we have our eyes fixed on Jesus. We're not looking at anything else. So the second point was we've been called to run our race. Thirdly, rely on Jesus alone. That's what we do it for. And I loved Christine's word the other day, how she was saying, actually, we've been called to take the step before we even see the step, right? Yeah. And we all want God to reveal the next step to us. We all want Jesus to reveal the next step to us, but we need to have our eyes fixed on him in order for him to do that. The two P's that we see here, pioneer and perfecter. Those are big words, right? Two big P's. And I believe pioneer, that's an amazing thing. I think we forget sometimes that actually Jesus has gone before us, that Jesus has already overcome the world. So you people that are wanting to plant, you people that are going to plant, remember, Jesus has pioneered before you did. I believe that this season is a season of there is more. I also believe it's a season of there is new. There is new, there is more. And then the perfecter. I love that I don't have to be perfect. I just have to fix my eyes on the perfect one. That's what it says there. My pastor is far from perfect, Terry Kruger. And I'm not following him because he's perfect, but I'm following him because he's got his eyes on the perfect one. Come on. And then, just to finish off, for the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of heaven. Number 4, we need to remember Jesus' position and his power. And who flew on a plane to get here to this week? Anyone? A lot of people. When you were flying, you weren't freaking out the whole time that you're going to crash, right? You were pretty chillaxed. I know I was. I hope you were. If you weren't, then you got to get some faith. But like, honestly, you and the reason why you don't freak out on a plane, you just sit and chill, is because actually, you know that the pilot, because of his experience, you don't even know the pilot, but you know just because of his experience, you can trust him. How about Jesus? We know Jesus, and some of us, we can't even trust him with our lives, right? Like, that's amazing, guys. Jesus is amazing. And knowing who he is and where he's seated, the right hand of God, what he's done, that's what gives us confidence, right? That's what gives us boldness and freedom to walk into all he has, to embrace the future. We got to live in the finished work of Christ, right? We sing about this living hope this morning. We're not waiting until Jesus comes back to have this hope again. We're living in hope. We are living hope. And we have power because of Christ's position, right? Because of where he's seated, because he's also with us. We have power in that. I'm already over time. Thank you, guys. I got to stop. I can't even pray.